Welcome back to the Pack Chat, our student voice opinion segment. I'm joined today by my co-hosts Sam Mack and Victor Martinez, as well as our guest co-host Katie Smith, as we discuss this week's most trending topics. With that being said, let's get started. First, the Attorney General, William Barr, announced that there is no widespread voter fraud from the 2020 presidential election. Several claims were made in swing states such as Georgia, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, but the FBI has investigated those claims. Before the election, Barr was critical of mail-in voting, but still says that they have found no evidence of widespread voter fraud. What do you guys think about this? Is this something different than what you thought was going on? And, William Barr has been quite an ally to President Trump, so for him to come out and say that there's no voter fraud, what do you think that means for the Trump campaign in the Republican Party?
I think that it means that they're kind of done. Like, voter fraud is a very hard thing to come out and establish, and I feel like once it's come out that there isn't any, that you kind of just got to move on and wait 4 more years for your next shot.
I do think that it's very interesting that Barr is finally going against what Trump is saying, because President Trump has been saying for months at this point that this election was full of voter fraud. And the fact that somebody who has been an ally to him for so long is coming out and saying the opposite is very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm really hoping that by him coming out and saying that there's no voter fraud, that, we see other Republican leaders take that lead as well, because, I feel like they know that there was no widespread voter fraud, but it's kind of hard, to go against the leader of technically your own party when they are the president. And so I'm hoping that this, will encourage others to come out and kind of control the craziness and all of the claims that are, going on in their states.
I'm interested to see how these kind of like more prominent Republicans and like Trump supporters and just like, people in general that did like support the idea of voter fraud and kind of believe it was real, like I'm interested to see how long people hold on to it.
Yeah, definitely. Next, Joe Exotic, a familiar name to Tiger King fans, is potentially on the list of people President Donald Trump is considering pardoning before his term is over. No one is quite sure how Donald Trump knows who Joe Exotic is, but it has been reported that Joe Exotic has spent thousands in order for his case to be heard at the White House. What do you guys think about this? I know we talked about this a while back, but I've heard that it's a little bit more official now. He could actually be pardoned. And, what do you guys think about that?
I just think it's so random. Like, Joe Exotic, like, there's definitely, I feel like there's more people, or not more, but different people that you could have pardoned, but Joe Exotic just seems like super random to me, and like I don't even know like what kind of ties they would have to even get there to that point.
Definitely. And I mean, the crime he committed was, it was almost murder. So that's also very interesting to me.
Yeah, it just seems very, I don't know, just out of the blue, the fact that out of all of these people, Trump is choosing Joe Exotic. And it's kind of, it's a blast from the past, from the very beginning of quarantine when Tiger King was such a big thing and it was all everybody was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am quite curious as to how Donald Trump even learned who Joe Exotic was. Like, I'm really wondering if there has been some contact between the two.
Maybe he wants to say
Tiger King at the beginning of quarantine.
Maybe. Finally, Spotify users' favorite time of year is here, Spotify Wrapped. Users get a full recap of their favorite artists, their top songs, and more from this year. Do you guys use Spotify? And if so, how did that go for you guys this year?
I had to get a new phone and I couldn't re-download Spotify, so I had to use Apple Music now.
Dang.
I also am an Apple Music user.
Ooh.
Dang, Victor, looks like it's just me and you.
I use Spotify. Mine, I think, so I've only been using Spotify for like a little bit over a year, so it was like kind of all over the place, especially because I feel like my music taste has changed a lot recently, but overall I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't very surprised. I am a very big Taylor Swift fan, so I'm not surprised that the majority of my top songs were Taylor Swift songs, and that, that was my top artist. But I think it's kind of funny that you mentioned that yours has changed a bit, because in the beginning of the year, someone hacked my Spotify. And I didn't really mind. Their music taste was very, 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 very interesting. I've never heard any of the songs before ever. And I felt kind of bad kicking them out of my Spotify by like changing my password. But I remember the only reason that I did was because I didn't want them to mess up my Spotify Wrapped. And the two songs that they kept playing did end up making it on my top songs of 2020 playlist.
Oh my god, that's so fun.
Yeah. And that's all we have for today. Remember, T Wolf Pack, there's always time to chat.